Well, it's a pretty sad statistic. Deadly crashes over the past 2 years are increasing and not decreasing. And I recently spoke with Debbie Hersman, the president and CEO of the National Safety Council. She told me about the Road to Zero Coalition and its vision for achieving zero roadway deaths by 2050. Check this out.
You know, 50 years ago when the president challenged us to take a man to the moon and bring him back safely, that seemed like an impossible task, but we did it. And I would say that getting to zero roadway fatalities by 2050 does seem like a moonshot, but we think there are 3 things that we should do to get us there. The first is really to focus on what we know already works. Things like seatbelt laws require people to buckle up. That saves lives. The second thing is accelerating technology. We know there's technology available in cars today, like automatic emergency braking, that can save lives. The third thing is to really develop a safety culture and create a safe systems approach. And that means prioritizing safety in our decision making, in resource allocation, and in design of our roadways so that we can get to zero. Even when people make mistakes, they don't result in fatalities.
So this Road to Zero Coalition, I mean, all the things you just talked about, I assume kind of that's the mission and that's kind of all the ways you're tackling it. But talk to me about this commission. When did this thing start, and where's it headed? So
the coalition was put together in 2016. It was founded by the U.S. Department of Transportation and the National Safety Council. And today we're really proud to have over 650 organizations be committed on this journey with us to get to zero fatalities by 2050. It doesn't cost them anything to join, but everyone's committed, whether they're working in the medical profession, whether they're researchers, whether in the automotive industry, of getting to zero by 2050. We lose over 100 people on our roadways every day, and we've become very complacent about those deaths. We need to feel a sense of urgency to address this.
Absolutely, I agree, and I love the goal. I love the goal of zero. I mean, lofty goals are great, and I think we can achieve it. In my opinion, it's going to take all of us, not just this coalition and you guys doing your work. It's going to take all of us to approach to get this. But for you, what do you want to say to people, the approach that's needed for all of us to get this goal?
You know, I would say that this week we've heard a lot of conversation. Everyone knows about the fatality that occurred on Southwest Airlines, but that's the first fatality we've had in commercial aviation involving a U.S. carrier since 2009. We should be just as upset and just as outraged about the fatalities that occur on our roadways every day. 40,000 people a year are killed on our roadways, and those are absolutely preventable fatalities. The United States is trailing our industrialized counterparts around the world. We're not taking the actions to bring those fatalities down, and in fact, they're going up. So we need to take action.
Do you have any info on our state, on Florida, and how we're doing and how we can help?
Yes. So Florida actually, since 2015, has seen a 4% increase in fatalities. Now, some of the things that Florida is doing that's good, they have a texting ban for all drivers, and they have automated enforcement when we look at red light cameras. Those intersection crashes can be deadly. But some of the ways that Florida can improve are they don't have a handheld phone ban. And so when we look at distraction involving phones, we want to make sure that people are not just not bringing things in, but not having the situation where they're saying, oh, I'm hands-free, so I'm safe. We want to make sure that people are recognizing that distraction comes in many forms. And then the thing that we can do better in Florida, too, is rural roads having high speed limits. We know that for every increase in speed limits, we see an increase in fatalities. And so bringing those numbers down are important.
Well, thanks so much for sharing this information, and thank you so much for what you guys are doing with the council.